Hey guys, welcome to Tech Talk with Chad. If you have an N6, I'm going to take a minute and go over all the wireless equipment with you. I get asked so many questions all the time. How do you use this? How do you pair that? What does this do? And things like that. So I'm going to take the time, put a few segments together for you guys, go over the TV streamer, the phone clip, the mic, the remote assistant, what this little pin does, and how I use these audio cables with my mini mic to do all the cool little things I do. So welcome to Tech Talk, guys. Be right back.
Take one.
Hey guys, Chad Denning here, and I have a great little story. I have the inside version on how Cochlear and Resound came together and all the wireless came about. So, one night, Mrs. Resound decided to put on her prettiest little black ear mold and go out to the club to go dancing, and she went in, and Mr. N5, it's actually an N6, but for the story, it's an N5. So Mr. Nucleus the fifth was sitting at the bar, and he saw Mrs. Resound come walking in her beautiful dress, and he was just like, oh my goodness, she's so beautiful. And he said, walks up to her and says, hey, Miss Resound, can I buy you a drink? Yeah, he already knew her name, so, just bear with me. So he asked Mr. Resound, and she's like, oh, sure, Mr. Nucleus, you can buy me a drink. So they sat and they talked for a little while, and then they got out there and they danced, and they had a great old time. Well, Mr. Nucleus got her phone number, and they called, and they started dating, and everything was going great. And next thing you know, Mr. Nucleus got down on his knee, and he asked her to marry him. Miss Resound said, oh, sure, I'll marry you, Mr. Nucleus the fifth. And before long, you knew it, guess what? Mrs. Resound, she became pregnant. And before you knew it, little Nucleus the sixth showed up, and he was all cool. He looked just like Daddy. So they said, "Oh, what a great name! We'll just call him Nucleus the sixth." I think I already said that once, but we'll do it again now. So, anyways, he was a little baby. He was doing just great, and he looked just like Daddy, acted just like Daddy, had a lot of the same features. But as he grew up a little bit, and he got a little bit taller, and he got a little bit taller, he noticed that he had something that Mommy already had built into him. Oh, the wireless chip. Oh my goodness. So now the N6 was wireless, and the FDA said, you know what, go ahead. You can use those wireless accessories now. So Mr. N6 became wireless, and that's how the wireless, marriage between Resound happened, and little Nucleus the sixth was born. That's the story, guys. You can believe it or not. I think it's true. Whether or not it is, it doesn't really matter.
Take one.
Hey guys, welcome back. I'm Chad Denning, and I'm going to talk about the TV streamer today. I'm going to try to help you guys with some pairing issues and go over the plugs so you guys have a better understanding of how to use it, and also a couple other neat things that some people haven't thought about, but I've thought about in ways we can use this that no one knew we could. So let's get started. Here's our TV streamer, guys. It's nice, small, compact. We have two little light buttons on the front. One will be green for power. One will be yellow for the stream. So when you have audio hooked up and it's hearing the TV, that light right there will light up yellow. On the back side here, we have a small little square plug here. And that small little square plug is for your audio, digital audio cable. The next is the mini phone jack plug. The next is your power, mini USB power. And the other one is RCA. And that is what the audio outs on the older TVs use. So if you have a newer TV, you'll be able to use pretty much one of the newer flat screens, you'll be able to use that digital audio cable out right there. And sometimes they have a headphone jack, so if you need to use the headphone jack, you can use a headphone jack. If you have an older TV, you'll have to use the RCA cables, which will plug into that outside plug here, and that's how you're going to use it. A lot of times people get confused. Chad, how do you pair these things? What do you do? I press this button, I press this button, what do I do? Yada, yada, yada. Well, I'll show you, and I'll try to break it down real quick. The first thing you want to do is you take your processor, take the battery off, and come back over here, and we're going to go back to this little button over here. So I like to pair my TV streamer in program 2. Reason because I have my mini mic in program 1, which I use all the time. Your phone clip is on a virtual channel, so it doesn't need to be programmed on any specific channel. It's just automatically streamed, paired on one. So I'll press this button twice. 1, 2. When I turn this around, the little light will start flashing twice. That means it's ready to pair in channel 2. Then, if you have a hearing aid, make sure that your hearing aid's turned off too, like the N6 was. You'll always pair your hearing aid first. If you're bilateral N6, you'll pair them both in a row. So first thing I'm gonna do is turn on my hearing aid. The little light will show that this one's starting to pair. And then I will turn on my N6. Virtually that's all you have to do. And then that light will go solid green and it'll be done in pairing mode and you're ready to listen to audio. If you have the large remote, oh, that's pretty funny. That was great, people. I already have a processor on my head and I try to put another one back there. That was awesome. So if you have the large remote system, when you come over here to your pairing page, you'll be able to see that right there I have my TV streamer on 2. So I'll go down to the TV streamer on 2 and turn it on. That will turn it on for your N6. I have to use my presses on my hearing aid and do long presses up here, and it will signify that the TV streamer is turning on. So that's it with our TV streamer, guys. Oh, one more thing I was going to say. I was told that Cochlear has no way of listening to stereo movies on an airplane. Not true. If you want to bring this with you, not only can you listen, but you can pair this with as many processors as you want. So if you have a family of 5 that are all deaf, have N6s, everybody can pair it to this. Use the mini USB cable to power it with the USB ports in the back of the seats. Then you can use the mini phone jack from the headphone jack to there. That'll bring in your audio signal. This will stream in Dolby Stereo to all your friends and family. So one little thing, one more technique that I could share with you guys. All right, guys, that's it with the TV streamer. I'll be right back with the phone clip. Thanks.
Take 1.
Hey guys, welcome back. Chad Denning here. And let's take a moment and let's talk about the phone clip that comes with our Nucleus 6 wireless accessories. So many people ask me questions, Chad, how do you pair these things? How do you use it? What all can we use it for? What can we connect it to with Bluetooth? Well, we'll go over that here in a second. So guys, as we come over here and look, this is our our phone clip that works with our N6, if I could hold it here. Unfortunately, these 2 buttons in the front do not work with our N6. They do work with the Baja, but I'm not going to discuss that right now. So they also work if you have a ReSound hearing aid though. You can use these buttons. This will be your change your programs. This will be to mute it if you're on the phone. Now, it does work with the hearing aid, but it does not work with the N6. So on the left side here, we have a volume up and down. So that's how you control your volume. It'll actually turn the volume up and down on your phone as it's streaming or on your iPad or tablet or whatever you're using. Over here we have our power switch. So to turn that on, we'll push that button down and it shows a little white bar. That means that we are turned on. So back to the front, this top part up here is a microphone. And this is the call button. This call button does work. So if you need to recall the person you were just talking to, you would press that button. Otherwise, you won't be using it. I like to have it when I hang around my neck. I always lean up against something and then I call my friends back all the time and I don't know I'm doing it until it's too late. And then I get to say hi to my friends all over again. And I'm sure they love me calling them as I press that button all the time. So guys, on the bottom here is a little silver cap. We're going to take the little silver cap off and then we're going to turn this over. And on the back here, you're going to see 2 little buttons. And before I get into that, I'm going to show you something. You see that little bitty pin that came with our processor. Everybody wonders what it's for. Well, this side has the little push button. It's not an actual pin, but it's what we use to press our buttons on here. So when we get ready to pair this one, the cool thing about this one, it runs on a virtual channel. What do I mean by virtual channel, Chad? It doesn't take up one of the existing slots that we need for wireless accessories. So you don't have to worry about it. We only pair it in channel 1. So 1 click on the pairing button, no 2, no 3, no 4. You don't have to repair it every time you turn it off or turn it on. Once you turn it on and you turn on the Bluetooth on your phone, these things will start talking. Next thing you know, if you have your notifications turned on your phone and you do something on it, you will hear doo 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 in your ears and you'll know that you are paired with this thing or if you try to make a phone call. So let's get back into pairing. So we'll turn this thing around. As you know, I have it turned on. The green light's probably not showing right now because I'm blocking out all the green. So I'm going to take my little pin here, and first of all, I'm going to take off my batteries on my processor, and I'm going to open the door on my hearing aid. So we have those things done, and we're going to press this button once. When I press that button once, you'll see that the light turns to a yellow flashing light. So I know that I'm in pairing mode. So from pairing mode, if you have a hearing aid, you do the hearing aid first, then you take your N6, put your battery back on, and voila. This light is going to go to steady yellow right there. And you can see here that the N6 was flashing a blue light and it's gone back to its regular steady yellow light, saying that it's off my head. And the phone clip is flashing green again. That means you are paired. And trying to put on a processor that I already have on my head. I love it when I do that. I'm glad you couldn't see that. You just saw my hands move around. But so the next little button on here is your Bluetooth button. It's blue, and that's what you're going to use to pair on your phone. So I'm going to go over here, and even though I'm not pairing to my phone, I'm going to press this button. And when I do, you'll see that that blue light has turned on. You might not be able to see the blue because it's close to the color of green. But if you do, that means it's ready to pair, and it's looking for my phone at this time. So right now, my phone's turned off. It's not going to stop blinking. So we'll stop at that right there. But the cool thing about this little doodad is you can hook it up to your iPad, your tablet, your phone, your iPhone, whether it's Android or not. Anything that's pretty much in the last 5, 6, 7 years and it's Bluetooth, this will connect to, you can pair it to. I was even trying to do it to the PlayStation 3, but I was having some trouble with a couple of the pairing issues on it. But I'm working on that, so in the future, as soon as I get those things figured out, I will have this ready for you guys to teach your kids how to hook it up if we can. So this phone clip is amazing. I just wanted to say how much it has changed my life. It's been 2 years since I've been able to talk on the phone. Now that I have my N6 and my wireless ReSound hearing aid, this thing streams to both my ears and I can talk on the phone. If I just listen with one ear, I'm unable to do it. I can actually do it with my implant, but I can't do it with my hearing aid ear alone. So it's a beautiful thing, people. When you're worrying about the cost of it, I know it's kind of expensive, but it's well worth the money if you want to be able to use the phone again. Not only can you use this on a regular cell phone and stuff like that, but you can buy a Bluetooth base and hook it up to your landline. Or if your landline, you can actually pick up a phone that's actually Bluetooth capable, and this will pair with it. So as long as you're within the 20 or 30 feet that the Bluetooth will allow you to be around that phone, this will stay paired to it. You can walk around your house and talk on it. The mic is actually sensitive enough that if I sat it down here, I don't even have to wear it. And it's close enough that people will be able to hear me talk, and you'll have just a wonderful conversation. And you will get something back that you haven't had for a long time. That's the ability to talk on the phone. All right, guys, that's it with the phone clip. When I come back, we're going to talk about the mini mic, and we'll go over that. Thanks, guys.
Take one.
Hey guys, welcome back. Chad Jennings here, and it's time to talk about the mini mic. The mini mic happens to be my favorite accessory with the N6. It's a little bit small for me to be holding it with my fingers here, but I'm going to do my best I can to show this to you guys. I really love this accessory, and it has given me the ability to do things that I never thought I could do again. You know, a year ago when I was going deaf, I was like, what am I going to do? I didn't know how or what I was going to do, if I needed to learn sign language or how I was going to have the ability to do certain things. But this little guy here has given me the ability to do things that I didn't know I'd be able to. And it's all because of some little bitty cords that I use to hook this thing up to many different things. So let's go over here and look at this little wireless accessory, and I'll tell you what the buttons are on it when it does. On the right hand side, once again, we have a little slide on the side. When it turns down, you'll see the white, and that means it's powered on. On the other side, you have your volume up and down. On the top, there's a green light flashing right now saying that it's turned on, but you probably can't see the green because I'm taking out all the green from the back. And then on the bottom, you will have a mini phone jack and a mini USB jack. It's an older type charger jack, but that's okay. It comes with its very own cable for charging, and it comes with a little mini cable. So it has the little cable, and not only do I use this little cable, but I adapt this cable. So I use what's a larger phone jack cable. Most of you guys will remember this from back in the day when you were young. All the headphones came with those. We didn't have many cables. We didn't have the technology to make these little wires like that as well as we do now. But in my job that I'm doing now, working in the studio, we use these in everything, in the soundboards, in the back of computers, things like that. Most of the stuff that we have is large phone jack. So I will adapt this, and voila, now I have the mini to the regular size 9mm phone cable, and that's how I use this thing in so many different places. I also hook this into the bottom of the comm line in the studio, so everybody can talk to me on the intercom, and I don't have to wear a headset. It's so amazing, it's so cool. But let's talk about pairing this thing. Once again, it's much like pairing the other one, so we'll take off the little cap on the bottom. We'll turn this, actually we don't have to turn this one over, but you'll see it has one little red light button right there. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take our hearing aid. If we have an hearing aid, open the battery drawer, and we'll take the battery off the N6, and then we're going to take this thing. I'll move this out of the way here. We're getting a little crowded. We'll take this here, and I'm going to press the red button. One long press, and when I do, this light's going to start flashing. I always pair mine on channel 1. If you wanted to pair it on channel 2, you would press the button twice. If you want to pair it on channel 3, you press the button 1, 2, 3. And the light would flash according to how many times you did it. So now that we're in this pairing mode, I'm going to reach over here. I'm going to close the door on my phone, on my hearing aid, excuse me. And then I'll put my battery on my N6. And it's going to tell me, oh, green. So now I'm paired. That's all it is to it, folks. And you don't have to do this every time you use the accessory. So, and you turn it off, turn it on, take your hearing aid off, don't use it, whatever. You don't have to do it. And also, if you have the remote assistant, you'll be able to see that right there on channel 1, I have my mini mic. So I would just press that button. It would automatically go to turn it on, and then you are paired. So guys, that's about it for using this little tool and how to pair it and how to do that. But places that I've used this. So I take this little mic and I put it on a coffee cup upside down, and the guys at my men's group will pass this thing down the table, and as it gets farther and farther away from me, I can hear the guys just like if they were sitting next to me. So they're streaming to both my ears, and no matter what kind of noise is going on in the background in that restaurant, I hear the guys talking. Also, if you're in a restaurant, you can put this in the middle of the table or down a little bit farther if you're having trouble hearing, and you'll be able to hear your family. Or if you put it on your better half, your wife, your girlfriend, boyfriend, husband, whatever it may be. You put this thing on them, they can wear it around their neck. I just touched my mic and I probably sound real good, but you can put this on them, they can wear it, and you'll hear them directly in your ears without a lot of the junk that's going on around there. My favorite use for it was when I went to California Science Museum this summer with my son. They had the Space Shuttle Endeavour there. And I have been fascinated with space shuttles since I was a little boy when it first launched in 1981. So I was just in awe when I got there. Here it is, this guy, docent. He had all the little pieces of material that I could go and touch, feel, play with, check out about the space shuttle. But he had a little laser pointer, so he would turn around and he was pointing this little laser pointer up at the space shuttle, and I'm standing behind him. Well, it's kind of difficult for me to hear, so what I did is I asked him, would you please wear this on? He had his little badges hanging around his neck, so I just clipped it on his little badge that was hanging around his neck, and guess what? He was talking straight to my ears. No interruptions. I didn't miss one word the guy was saying. As he turned around and pointed and walked us around the space shuttle and told us about all the different things that were going on with the space shuttle, I didn't miss a word. It's so exciting. I was just like, wow, it's the coolest thing in the world. And I've also taken this in the movie theater and used it. And sometimes in movie theaters it's a little bit overwhelming. And I think it plays with our N6s a little bit with the microphones. But you can use this and just stream the sound with this to your N6s. And guess what? It's actually a little bit easier to hear because it kicks out some of the reverb and some of the background echo that you might pick up with your processors in that theater. Also, my son, he likes to talk to me when I'm in the theater, and it's like, dude, I can't hear you. So what I do is I just shove this thing in his mouth, and he talks right into it, and I say, oh, okay. And I tell him yes or no. You know, so it's kind of funny that way. And so I just have it hanging around my neck on my little strap, and I just stick it over in front of his face. And I come back and forth, and my son can talk to me even though he's not supposed to be. But that's okay. I like to take this thing to many different places, many different locations where I've had trouble. So if you're having trouble in a certain situation hearing, take it with you. Ask the person to use it. It's not going to hurt anything, but you'll probably be able to hear it better. I also plug this into my computer. I plug it into my phone if I don't have my phone clip with me. Just whatever situation I'm in, I just use my little cable, and adapt it, plug it into whatever I can, and it's just amazing. It has totally changed my life, gave me back hearing in places that I never thought I could hear. Same with the phone clip. It gave me back the telephone. It gave me wireless stereo streaming that I never thought I'd be able to have. It's just totally awesome. All right, guys, that's it for the mini mic. And when we come back, we'll talk about the remote assistant.
Take one.
Hey guys, welcome back. It's Chad here. I'm going to take a second and talk about the remote assistant. Many people have so many different questions about it, and we'll see if we can cover a few of those right now. A lot of you wonder why you need it or why you won't need it. Well, compared to the little one that has things that you can use to adjust the regular volume, sensitivity, and also the streaming capabilities. I'll show you those just here in a second. You have to bear with me. I'm going to try to focus these on camera 2 over here, and it's not going to be the easiest thing in the world, but we'll get through it. All right, so let me get it to the home screen here. And so here we are at our home screen, and it's not here in my ear. There we go. And you'll see that on here, there's 4 different areas. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 buttons on here, and those are for my programs. On the side over here is the streaming button. If I press that, it will start to stream, and it'll show streaming. Down here we have our up and down volume, left and right buttons, and the OK button, and the home button. So right now we're on the regular scene. You can see I am in scan, and it's actually showing that it's scanning the environment, and it hears me talking. So let's go to the next page. The next page is the volume. So we can increase the volume, or we can decrease the volume, and it'll work accordingly. On the next screen over, it's sensitivity. Most of them come, set at 12. I had it a little bit higher there for a minute. I don't know why. I was probably screwing around with it, but I usually like mine at 14. There's something about that level at 14 makes a different sound for me, and I actually enjoy it there. After the sensitivity page, we go over, and it shows our streaming page. So you can see that my mini mic is number 1 channel, and my TV streamer is paired in channel 3 for whatever reason. Your phone clip is not paired in a channel. It's a virtual channel, so you'll always pair it in one, and it doesn't show on here because it's not something that you need to pair. It's an automatic pair once you turn it on and activate it. The next screen you come over will take you to advanced settings. So if your advanced settings aren't turned on, you won't be able to go from this point, or you probably won't even be able to see the things I just showed you. But since mine are activated, I'm going to press the OK button, and the first thing that we see is the telecoil button. And the telecoil will, you can either have it more processor microphone, which is 1, or you can put it towards all telecoil, which is 100% telecoil. And I don't necessarily use my telecoil anymore. I have all the wireless stuff, so I'm using all the wireless equipment instead of my telecoil. I know a lot of you that have older processors are using the telecoil still, and that's great. And on the next page over, you will see the accessory mix page. Now, what's accessories? Well, your accessories are your wireless equipment. So I'll show you something here. I'm going to turn on my wireless mic here, and I'm going to come back over to my activation page here, and I'm going to come down and activate my mic. So now I can hear my mic in my ear. I love that. It sounds horrible. But now I'll come back over to the accessory mix. Right now you'll see it at full accessory mix, or I can bring it down to mainly my processor mix with a little bit of the microphone. Generally, if I want to only hear the person that's talking into that mic, you put them at 100%. Most children, nobody are set at 4, and that is the regular default position. So, most of the time you won't need to change that. On the next page over, when the mic is activated, you will see that as I talk closer into the mic, the bars will respond with how the dB level that it's actually hearing. As I bring it farther away, it'll drop down in dBs and you'll see less of that. So you can see your extreme environments, your streaming and mic mix on there. On your next page is your processor buttons. You can lock or enable them. On the next page is your processor beeps. You can turn them on or off. On the next one, this is the one that a lot of people have questions about. I know I saw a post about a gentleman in the movie theater getting upset that their child's N6s were flashing the whole time. Well, if you have your advanced mode set, turned on, you can change it from child to adult, and that light will turn off flashing while you're in the theater. But if the processor does fall off, the light will actually activate on it and turn on, and you'll see the blue flashing light saying that it's streaming, or the yellow light saying that the processor is not on the head, and it'll allow you be able to find it in the dark, so you don't really have to worry about that. But one of the things that you can do is set an alarm, so when you leave the theater or whatever, or get a notification if you have an iPhone, ask Siri to remind you to put this back in the child mode, so that when the child is at school, the teacher can just look at his ears and glance and see that it's either streaming or that it's working or it's running without having to plug into it and check. So, all right, guys, that's it for the remote assistant for right now. If you have any more questions, go ahead and ask me in the future, and I'll see if I'll go over those a little bit deeper with you guys. Thanks for listening in.
Take one.
Hey guys, welcome back to Tech Talk with Chad, and I want to go over one more little thing, and it's for all those people out there that are having a little bit of issues. Well, I got something for you guys. Yep, it's the foil hat. We all know about the foil hat. If you know Chad, we've talked about the foil hat a million times. It looks just like this. If you need one of these, call me up, email me, write something in the comments. I'll make one up for you guys. I'll send it right out to you. Kathy's got about 20 of them. So enjoy. And this will keep you from all the little voices talking in your head, or everybody interfering with them. And they're pretty sexy like that. So, alrighty, guys. Thanks for watching, and this foil hat is yours just for the right amount of money. So, well, you can actually bid down below, and we'll see who wins it. All right, guys. Thanks.